Quick disclaimer, any opinion said in this video may offend some people. And if you are one of those people, you shouldn't be here. Make sure to have an open mind and have fun with the podcast.
So, I am fat. Hello, and welcome back to the 5th episode of the Desensitized podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tidal Johnson, joined with...
Oh, the 5th episode. Oh, well, slap me silly.
Jade Waipara, Chad Modi.
You keep my name out of your whole mouth.
Okay, so today we've got a few topics for you. So, starting with our intro, as we always do, then going on to the controversial topic of Will Smith hitting Chris Rock at some film festival.
That's going to be such a good one.
Then we're going to segue off to some speech and violence stuff. So basically, when is something okay to say? Where's the border between you being able to get violent about it and it be good, or for you to act against speech? And then kick it off with some Am I the Arsehole? Sound good, Jade?
Why are you being so uptight? You sound like you've got a stick in your ass.
Does it sound good or not, Jade?
Does
Does it sound good or not?
Well, it sounds alright.
Alright, so brief introductions. If you've never been here before and this is your first time, my name's Tidal. I run a YouTube channel myself, do cinematography, blah blah blah, short films, all that sort of stuff. Videos don't come out very often because of, those things take a while. So now I've started doing podcasts. So that's me. And Jade?
Sell out.
Every time. Jade?
Sell out. Well, there's nothing much to say about me. Like, it's not anything you haven't heard before. If you've got a strong belief on something, you shouldn't be here. Listen to the disclaimer. Leave. You've heard what we're doing. You even saw it in the title. You clicked on this. So, if you're still here, it's your own fault. I'm not a professional on this sort of stuff, and I'm not very well versed in controversy and politics and whatever else the fuck we talk about. If it's not music, I don't know much about it, but I have an opinion on it.
Alrighty. So, yeah, that's pretty much the same thing on my side, except my whole speciality is more so cinematography and visual stuff like that, and editing, maybe a bit of sound design. But regardless, this is not what this podcast is about. Maybe we might cover a movie or something that might speak about that a little bit, but that's not what this podcast is about. This is about social issues and current events and politics. So, yeah. So, without further ado, our first segment. So, if you don't know, Will Smith hit Chris Rock on live television for making a joke about his wife and how his wife has a disease that causes her to lose her hair. I don't know what this disease is or if she's gonna die from it, but basically, he said a joke about her having no hair, so he's like, oh, you look like someone in a certain film, because this person in the film didn't have any hair. Basically, Will Smith
G.I. Jane
and...
too.
Yeah. Basically, Will Smith didn't appreciate it, walked up to him, smacked him in the face, walked back, and then, yeah, that was it. So, but it still shocked people, nevertheless. And it shocked me even too, because I didn't think Will Smith would do something like that. But I don't know why I'm getting shocked
I
over
just
some
want
random
to
dude hitting
fucking
someone. Happens all the time.
want to fucking kick this segment off with, like, you hear this all the time about, like, big celebrities getting into fights, like how a lot of people don't want to work with Eddie Murphy and shit. But never would I think that Will Smith and Chris Rock, two of the OGs, will get into a fucking quarrel at the Emmys.
Yeah, I didn't
Like,
think
that's the part that blew my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and for one joke. But, I mean...
Yeah, no, see, that I don't, like, I get it from both sides. Like, I understand that Will Smith was, like, defending his wife and that sort of thing. I get that. but it was a joke from a comedian. What the fuck do you expect?
Yeah,
Yes, he's going to
exactly.
cross a line. He's a comedian. It's what he does.
Yeah, it's true. He is a comedian. And it always ends up being, it probably is always about like when it's a joke against the wife, it's like off limits. But when it would be a joke about Will Smith, I feel like he would have laughed it off.
Well, you could see him laugh. If you watch the videos that went up, you can see him laugh beforehand,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then it cuts back to Chris Rock, and Will Smith walks up on stage and smacks him because his fucking missus didn't laugh, but he laughed.
Yeah, that's true. You see him laughing, and then you just see his wife just sitting there, like death staring him in the eyes. So maybe he felt like he was like, that was funny, and then looks at his wife and he's like, shit, I've got to do something, and walks up and hits him in the
He's like,
face.
oh, I didn't say that was funny. I meant that was I'm gonna slap this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also would like to add that that was a fucking good slap from Will Smith. Like, he loaded that shit up like he was a boxer. If he had closed his hand, he would have knocked the fucking shit out of Chris Rock.
Yeah, that's true. Fucking hell. He would have never seen that
Like, he
coming.
followed through with that, and that shit looked like it hurt.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. I feel like if he made the joke about Will Smith in the same situation, Will Smith wouldn't have come and hit him. Feel like it was the whole wife thing. Because if you look at
Yeah,
the
no, and I
wife was
completely
death staring
understand that
him.
on Will Smith's part. I do understand that on Will Smith's part. I probably would have done the same thing. But it's a fucking joke.
It's a joke, and he's a
Like, this is
comedian.
what I don't understand. A lot of people in this generation, and they're not even from this generation, these motherfuckers are old,
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
can't take anything on the chin anymore.
Oh
Like, people are
God.
getting cancelled left, right, and center because this guy made a gay joke. Like, what? Oh, laugh, damn you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Take it on the chin and move on. And it's only the fucking internet, so, like, if you're being a keyboard warrior and you're in the comments like, you can't say this is sexual appropriation, fuck you. Click
Yeah.
off the video.
Click off the video. Take your fingers off the keyboard. The keyboard's
It's like this
on its last
fucking.
legs.
It's like this fucking shit I was watching. There's this chick and she makes fun of feminists and stuff. There's these feminists walking in like a woman can do anything a man can do. And then the chick turns around and goes, yeah, she turns around and goes, oh, yeah, well, I do believe that. So can we address the many of women that are abusing their men at home, beating them, slapping them, domestic abuse? And the feminist turns around and is like, no, we're not going to talk about that, and walks off. It's like double standards and shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest thing that comes to mind when I think of people acting violently into like in return of fuck in response to when someone says a joke or something. I think it's double standard. It's always a double standard when it comes to that because there's no like actual proper line. You know, it's always a case by
Yeah,
case basis, and it's always decided in the moment. You know what I mean? It's not like people can say beforehand and say, okay, saying this type of joke is always wrong.
yeah, no, I fully get that, but like, yeah, it depends on the people who are there. But even then, I think people need to lighten up. They take things way too seriously. Like this fucking podcast is a good example.
Yeah.
We make videos on controversial fucking topics. Like, we're not the best people in the world, but it's mainly all like, it is our opinions, but that's exactly it. It's our opinions. What the fuck is my opinion going to do to your life?
Yeah, that's true. I guess
I'm
like
some guy who decided, yep, I'll join in on your podcast idea. And me saying, I don't think that gays cause earthquakes is going to affect your life because you're Christian.
Yeah, well, they can
Paul,
say
if
that it's
that's what affects
propaganda.
your,
They can start
if
saying it's
that's what,
propaganda.
if that's what in your life is affecting you the most, you need to go outside and touch grass for once in your life.
It's hard to believe that people who get offended over that sort of stuff actually have a life, isn't it? So hard to believe.
Well, yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, if this is the thing that hurts you the most in life, or if this is really bothering you and it's ruining your life, that I said that, oh no, this Indian guy tried to sell this Indian woman tried to sell her daughter off to this guy for money. If that really affected your life in some way, you need a reality check.
All
I'm
right, yeah.
sorry to fuck up your day, Miss Perfect.
Do you have more to add to the whole Chris Rock and Will Smith in particular situation?
Well, no, not besides the fact that people need to learn to take a fucking joke on the chin.
Yeah, I agree with you. Are you ready to move to the next segment, which is pretty much the same thing, but I want to keep this in segments so that people can find stuff easy.
I almost segmented into it, but then you pulled me back.
Oh, then I fucked it up, eh?
Then you fucking shat on my parade. I was having a good old parade here. We had floats and everything, and you came and fucking shat on it. Look at the kids; they're covered in shit.
Oh, God. All right. So, next segment, borderlines in speech slash speech to violence slash when is it okay to say? So, what is your overall opinion? When is the border okay to take legal or violent action against speech? When do you think that's the case?
Against speech in general. I reckon if someone came up and your dad had just died and he said, yeah, well, your dad was an ugly fuckwit anyway, then yeah, I will agree with you if you choose to take violence. But if the guy is a comedian, a well known comedian, and he's doing a comedy act in front of a crowd of people, let's take Chris Rock, for example,
Yeah,
just out of the blue here,
yeah,
and you know he's a comedian and he makes jokes, like harsh jokes. All comedians do at some point. They make controversial jokes.
yeah,
And he says one thing that, like, knowing he's a comedian and he says something, not at any point in that do I think it's okay to slap him unless he targets and bullies you, like, fully bullies you.
yeah, like joke after joke after joke after joke, right?
Yeah. Or, like, instead of just doing the whole G.I. Jane thing, because he tried to segue out of it.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing that, fucking if he sat there and went, your ugly bald head motherfucker look like Squidward, fucking
Yeah.
fucking bald head looking ass, fucking Mr. Clean looking ass, sort
Yeah.
of shit. I think yeah, I would get it. I
Yeah,
would so
okay.
go up and punch him too. But it was one joke and it was so light-hearted.
Yeah, and he just like finished roasting another guy right before it. It was like he was handing it out to everyone, you know? He wasn't just going,
Well, yeah,
"Oh,
because
by
the
the way,
room is
this
filled
bald
with people
bitch."
he knows, well-known actors and all that. It's filled with people that they run in the same clique.
Yeah,
So he's putting the fucking nails on them because they're actors.
exactly. Oh God. Okay, when
Yep, no. So I think if someone's like, you know that person's a comedian. Like, I
yeah.
remember watching this one Jimmy Carr thing and it was fucking
What?
funny. So his whole joke was, oh, the dude heckled, he's like, when does the comedy start? And Jimmy Carr looks up at him and goes, well, it's more of a sort of thing where, like, if you think the comedy started, then it started. If you don't think the comedy started, then, well, you've wasted your money, haven't you? And he
Yeah.
went on this whole fucking thing and he got into this thing. It's like, males and females. If a female goes out, if a male goes out, sleeps with a whole bunch of chicks, he's a stud, he's a player, he's cool, he's praised by other men.
Yeah, a guy, you mean, not a female.
Yeah, nah, male.
Yeah.
He's praised. And then if a female goes out there and does it, they're called Rack's mum. And
Yeah.
Rack was the guy who tickled him.
Oh. That reminds me of this great joke I've heard, and it's like, how come? It's like, what's her name? How come when girls sleep with a bunch of guys, they're all called sluts, but when a guy does it, he's gay.
But when I go and sleep with 20 dudes, I'm gay. Like, that's not fair.
That's like that's the most beautiful, like, curb your expectation joke there. Because you think they're gonna be like all serious and say like, oh, but when a man does it, it's okay. But then you just go, but when a man does it, it's gay. It's great.
Fucking hell. Yep, no, that's the other one I've seen that's actually quite similar. It's like, so a guy takes one sip of alcohol, he's not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Guy does drugs once and gives up. He's not a drug addict. So why is it I fucked one guy and fuck me, I'm gay?
I had sex
Double
in the morgue
standard.
once, one time.
And suddenly I'm a necrophiliac.
Yeah.
Like, this
Yeah.
isn't fair. Stop this. Double
Yeah.
standards need to die.
Double standard. Yeah, yeah. When it comes to speech and stuff, it's all double standards when you try and police jokes, I think. I think, in my opinion, all jokes are okay. Should all be okay and legally speaking. No one should be taken to jail or something because of any sort of joke. I don't care how offensive it is. As long as it's a joke, they can say it. The only time I think that speech should be legally taken action against is when it's a call to violence. You guys have all got to get together and bomb this building. Then, like,
Yeah, no,
that should
I
be
fucking agree.
legally.
Like, if the speech is some guy standing up on stage, sees an Arab guy in the crowd and goes, "Get down!" Bet you the fuck that guy's got a bomb. I don't reckon that's too harsh. I reckon that's a good fucking joke. But
Yeah.
now, if that guy stood up in the middle of the crowd and said, "I have a bomb," well, yeah, no, I think that involves violence.
Yeah, but another good example is that if he goes, "Oh, there's an Arab in the crowd. He's probably got a bomb. Fucking kill him." Then I think,
Yeah,
that's a call
yeah,
to
no,
violence. So
that you've stepped the line there because now you're just telling people to attack another guy.
yeah, and that's called
That's
a call to violence, which is something that I think should be legally backed. If you're calling people to violence, I think that you should be able to be punished for that in, like, the legal system. Like,
you
if you're
are able to be punished for that in the legal system.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 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 that's true, but I'm trying to put a border around when things are okay to say and when things aren't okay. And that's one example where
Yeah, no,
everything
but
under
that's
this
exactly where
category
that
can
falls
be
in.
said
Like,
is bad.
the Freedom of Speech Act only works towards non-violent sort of things. So
So
anything that involves
opinions.
violence, like if you're talking to a crowd, you tell the crowd to attack somebody, that doesn't fall under freedom of speech.
Yeah, because it's
And
a
even
call
if you
to
said it in a
violence.
joking way, and people believe you and attack that guy, you're still the main person involved. You still get in trouble.
Yeah. Death threats are also another good example of something that's not a part of free speech. So you saying that you're going to kill someone, or you saying directly to this person that you're going to kill them, that also isn't covered by freedom of speech.
Yeah, no.
But when you,
It won't be covered under the Assault Act, but it will be covered under disturbing the peace.
yeah, it's not assault until you actually do it. But I mean, it also
Well,
counts
no.
as a call to violence.
Technically, when it comes to assault is the words backed up with the intention. So the intention and the action. The
Yeah.
hit does not have to connect for it to be classed as assault. So if
Oh,
a
yeah.
guy was running at you, said he's going to hit you, and he's got a closed fist, he doesn't even have to load it back. But if he's coming at you and he's got a closed fist and he said he's going to hit you, that's assault.
Oh, okay.
Once he gets
I
into a
thought there would
range
be a
where he
different.
could connect that hit.
Like, I'm imagining the situation. He's running at you. He's got a knife in his hand. He says, "I'm going to kill you." And then he gets run over by a bus before he gets the chance. That doesn't count as murder. That counts as attempted murder. So I feel like there would be another
No,
category
well,
as
not even
attempted
that.
assault.
Attempted assault works with, so it's also a distance thing. So he's got to be within a range where he could do something. So the guy's running at you. Once he's in arm's length, that's assault.
Yeah,
If he's
okay.
physically able to reach you from where he's standing, it's classed as assault because you cannot wait for somebody to hit you.
And I guess that also counts as like with weapons and stuff too. So if he's got a gun, it doesn't matter how far away he is, it counts as assault because he can
Yep,
affect
no,
you.
once the gun's out and the intent is there, then it's classed under the crime act of assault.
Yeah. Okay.
I just finished studying this bullshit, like specifically this.
Oh yeah, because yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's hard to argue in court though, especially if you've got no witnesses and the only things the cops see when they turn up is you having this guy pinned on the ground. It turns into your word against his. So trying to prove intent with action is quite hard.
Yeah, because you don't always have the opportunity to just whip out your phone and record.
Well, yeah, and it's not just that. It's like if you catch that hit before it happens, if you hit that guy, like
Yeah,
self defense, that's a big one. And in New Zealand, the Self Defense Act is you can't use too much force.
yeah,
Like if the guy hasn't hit you and then you like pin him to the ground and boot the cunt in the fucking head,
yeah.
then you're gonna get done for assault.
Oh, damn.
You'll both get done for assault. Once you've subdued him, if you act on that out of anger or whatever, like you cuff the dude and then kick him in the guts, or once the conflict's over and the threat of violence has been nullified, then you're not allowed to act anymore. You'll
Yeah,
be using too much force. That's like me coming up to punch you, so fucking you knock me over, and then while I'm lying on the ground, you shoot me in the back of the head.
yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
Using too
enough.
much force, and you'll get done for assault too.
Yeah.
So you've got to know that fine line.
We should definitely talk more about this, but in a different podcast, because this one's about speech, not violence.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I wanted to go into was speech and violence,
Yeah, okay.
and specifically what borderlines with violence, like
Yeah.
where violence happens and how you can get done for assault.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. But I'm more so in the idea of going into where it's okay to transition to violence, where if it's okay to transition to
That's the
violence.
thing. In the eyes of the law, like if you're looking to not go to jail, if you get aggravated by speech and turn to assault, you'll still get done for it. The guy
Yeah,
did
yeah,
not physically harm you, nor did he intend to harm you. Especially with jokes from comedians. If he
yeah,
did not intend to harm you, and what he said was not about attacking or harming you, and you walk up and you hit him, you're going to get done for assault.
yeah. They could press charges against you,
Yeah.
and they could
So at
go
no
through,
point in the legal system is it all right to attack somebody.
unless they're attacking you.
Yeah, unless they're attacking you back with the intent. So if the guy swings at you, you can attack him back with reasonable force. And
Yeah,
if the guy says he's going to hit you or says he's going to kill you and then pulls out a knife, you have permission to disarm this guy and make sure he doesn't get back up.
yeah, yeah. But then it also gets a bit iffy when it comes to what about when they're attacking someone else, and there's
Now
no
that's a
time.
different thing. If you jump in to defend that person that's getting attacked, the same laws apply of what I was talking about before. You use the reasonable amount of force to take this guy off and subdue him or get him to leave the scene, whatever.
Okay.
But you do not use excessive force. So if you get him off and you like step on him or like just to pin him down, and then suddenly you're like mad at this guy for attacking this other guy, and you fucking kick him in the throat, then you're getting done for assault.
But otherwise, you're scot-free,
Pretty
pretty
much.
much.
As
Yeah,
long
okay.
as you don't use too much force.
Yeah. But what about when it's impossible to not use too much force? So let's
Well,
say,
too much force is scaled on the severity of the crime that's happening.
yeah, okay. Let's say I'll give you an example. Let's say there's two women living in an apartment, right? A guy breaks in there with a
Yep.
firearm, only notices that one woman lives there, and then goes to rape her, but drops his firearm as she struggles. Then what happens is that the other girl comes out, realizes this is happening. There's no time to call the police or anything because he's there. And then what she does is, well, she notifies the police, but they're not coming in time because they're living somewhere like kind of far away. And she realizes this, so she tries to take the guy off of her, but it doesn't work. The guy just keeps hitting her back, and there's nothing she can do about it, and the girl is being like choked at the same time. The other girl's gonna die if she doesn't act. The gun's there. Would she be justified to shoot him?
She would be fully justified to shoot him.
Okay, because I thought that
There's no
might be
question about it. The way that would go is what happens afterwards. So if this bitch picks up that gun, fires it straight into his head, kills him. Most likely she'll go to court because that's straight up murder.
yeah.
But after the witness pleads and it's figured out that he was in their home, this one was getting raped, blah blah blah. Once all the evidence and the stories come out, it'll be pleaded under self-defense. But if she like shot him in the leg and then the cops show up and this guy suddenly got one bullet in the leg, one in both his arms, a whole bunch of in his chest, and one in his fucking head, then she'll get done.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. For
Yeah,
murder. Would that be called murder
pretty
or
much.
would it be called manslaughter? Really difficult.
I forget the term for it, but there is one for brutalizing people. It's like GBH, but GBH, of course, is the person still alive.
Oh, okay. But you've like
Previous
maimed
bodily
them.
harm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but
So
when
she
it's
would be fully justified to shoot him. You
in the
just
head.
can't. Yeah. But there is still excessive force. Like, if it was one clean bullet, then yeah. No, she's fully justified. There was nothing else she could do. This woman's, what, I'm guessing like 5'6", and we'll place this guy at like 6'2", jacked as fuck. The fuck is
Yeah.
she gonna do about it?
Yeah, exactly. And she even attempted, but the guy just like
Yeah.
with one hand punched her back and knocked her straight onto her ass.
Yeah, well, exactly. And this guy, that also gives the. If someone in a conflict feels like their life is threatened, that's the whole intent thing, then you can get done for that as well. So that guy also had that.
Yeah. Okay, let's say the guy had no intention of killing anybody, but he wanted to rape them. Is it the same?
Doesn't matter. It's all in self defense, because this chick can't do anything about it. She could ring the authorities, but that would take too long, and it's happening now. She
Yeah.
might, depending on how the situation in court goes and how the jury and stuff sees it. Like in New Zealand, it would be classed as self-defense. The guy was on a property that was not his with a firearm, and the only time you walk into a scene with a firearm is with the intent to kill.
Or I mean, it depends on where you're walking into place with a firearm. But if there's a crime that takes place, then yeah, you can automatically assume the
Well,
intent to
you said
kill.
that it was at a house
Yeah.
with two chicks.
Yeah.
So you don't break into somebody's house with a gun if you do not intend to shoot.
Well, you can break into someone's house with a gun and have the gun as a backup. But I mean, it's still by all
Yeah,
means you
but
can account that as the intent to shoot. It's not really
yeah,
gonna harm
that's exactly it.
society
It's
too
the intent
much.
to shoot. You don't bring a gun to, well, you can bring a gun to intimidate, but that's life threatening. And if you're on the other side of that, you're looking at that like this guy has the intent to shoot me.
Yeah, exactly. You
So
can't look at that.
regardless of
You
if
can't,
you walked in there, anytime you walk into a scene with a gun, like unholstered and open, you intend to fire the weapon.
yeah.
That's what everyone else sees. So that's what it is.
Okay, I fully agree with all that stuff, so it's not a very interesting episode.
Well, no, but it is good to let people know, like,
Yeah.
that's good to keep people out of jail.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
knowing how much force to use, it all depends on your situation. If it's a life or death situation, then it's life or death. You are fully allowed to down this guy if he came at you to kill you.
Or rape you.
Yeah,
Or has that
well,
changed it?
if you can't do anything else about it.
Except
Like,
for be raped.
let's change the subject, or change the situation. Big 6 foot guy walks in, there's one chick in there, and there's this jacked fucking dude in there.
Yeah.
That guy, don't shoot him.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll look at both members of the crime. So, like, let's say this 5'6" fucking dude walks in,
Yeah.
and then there's this 6'2" jacked ass cunt,
Yeah.
and the little midget guy is raping his missus.
Yeah.
That guy does not have the right to shoot him.
Because he could force him off.
Pretty much because he's
Unless
got the capability.
unless unless the midget is holding a gun out at the door, then what?
Well, then what the fuck is this guy supposed to do unless he's got his own gun?
No, yeah, I'm saying he does have his own gun because you said he doesn't have the right to shoot.
Well, yeah, because the original situation had the gun on the floor.
Oh, okay.
So if that was the situation, gun on the floor and guy standing there, you have no right to shoot.
What
But if
about
the
the
midget
woman?
dude holding the gun and he's pointing it at this dude's missus with the intent to fire, then yes, this guy's got the right to shoot him.
Yeah, but then that leaves a little bit of like leeway when you say with the intent to fire. Holding a gun to someone's temple while raping them, I think, like, you know,
Yes, but that
that's
still classes as intent. Intent doesn't necessarily mean it's a definite action. It means it's an action that can take place.
yeah, but intent also feels like to me is what they wanted to do, what they intended to do. But they could they could always also make the argument, oh, well, he might have intended just for intimidation, but not to shoot. But I'm just saying we should always assume that once you take a gun out of your holster and point it at someone, you intend to shoot them. We shouldn't, there's no leeway, there should be no leeway there, you know? That's what I think.
There is no leeway there. There
Okay,
never has been.
okay, alright. But then you don't
Even in
even
the
have to
court of
say
law,
with
there's no
intent.
leeway.
You just have to say he pulled a gun out to the head. You don't even have to say with intent. You just say that's what
Well,
happened
no,
because that
that's the
means
thing.
intent.
Because the people around, the reason you say with intent is because that's what the people around see it as. The moment you
Okay,
see a gun come out, like, if I walked up to you, boom, gun's out, all you see is he's going to shoot.
yeah,
Intent isn't necessarily of the person at hand, it's what everyone around him is thinking too.
yeah. What if it's found out later
So,
on that the gun that he was holding to the door wasn't a real gun?
there have been situations like that where guys walked up with the gun, pulled it on somebody, that he's gotten completely shot. And this was a cop.
Yeah,
Guy got shot by a cop. Cop walks up, checks the gun, mag wasn't even loaded. It's all about the people around and what they thought.
yeah. If you see something
So
that
they see
passes as a
gun,
gun,
bullet, death, fire.
yeah,
You don't know that gun's not full, or that gun's got no bullets in it, and there's no way you're gonna fucking stand around and wait to see if he fires.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not gonna want to find out if that thing has a bullet in it. You're just gonna get shot. And that is something I want to talk on in a later podcast. Prank channels, especially the ones
Oh,
on
yeah,
YouTube, solely because of this one fucking thing I saw, and I'm going to bring it up now because it ties in with this. There was a kid who watched prank channels, and I watched Critical explain this. Penguin Zero on YouTube, Moist Critical on Twitch.
yeah,
He's great. I was watching him, and fucking was talking about this kid. It was all over the news. Kid used to watch prank videos and shit on YouTube. Wanted to be one of those big pranksters. He didn't realize that those videos were fake. Fucking kid ran out there with a butcher knife when he was like, I think 15, 16.
Yeah.
Ran out there with a butcher knife and threatened the whole family. Like,
What the
threatened to kill
fuck?
them. Like how they do in those stupid prank videos.
Yeah.
And him doing this without knowing that everyone else does it as a joke, like that's all faked.
Yeah.
He did it for real. The father steps back, pulls a fucking handgun out, guns this kid down.
And then what happened in
So
the
things
court?
like that.
Or is that for
He
the
got off scot
motherfucker?
free because it was defense. It was self
Yeah.
defense of his kids and his family.
Yeah, that's
And
fair
this kid
enough.
was wielding a butcher's knife, had a mask on, and was threatening to kill him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that constitutes fair use.
Yep, yep,
Like,
no, and it was all caught on film too. I'm pretty sure
oh wow.
he was filming it for a prank video.
Fucking hell. Just Christ.
Shot dead.
Oh man, we've
And
also got to
apparently
talk about that as well.
his last words were, "It was just a prank," and then the kid died.
That sounds a bit cartoony. I feel like that probably didn't happen.
Well, there's audio files of it.
It was just a prank, bro, and then death. Like, that's too memey for me to believe.
Well, what else would you say in that situation? I'm dying.
Probably cry for mummy.
Well, I'm willing to bet by the sound of it, the kid was in tears. Yeah, it's memey when you say, "Oh no, it was just a prank, ball." But imagine it with the kid crying his eyes out and choking on his blood.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's true.
That suddenly turns sad, doesn't it?
That is sad.
Yeah, well, that was a situation that came up, and the man was fully right for shooting the kid. Like, you can come at me, the kid was only 16, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. On the outside, it was, this kid's got a knife, and I'm with my family. He's
And
coming
he
at me, threatening to kill me.
and he
I'm
said,
gonna
yeah.
fucking shoot him.
Didn't he say that he's
He
gonna
had
kill
the
them?
intent, he had the action, he was in range. Yep, he said, because that was the whole prank. Masked man runs up with a butcher's knife and threatens a family.
Yeah. But then that
Yeah.
also kind of changes things up because like if they're running, like then you have to wait until they're in range to shoot them. You know?
No, not when it comes to wielding a weapon. If the guy's got a weapon and you can see he's coming directly for you, once you feel like your life is threatened from life or death, so once the guy pulls the fucking knife out and threatens you,
Yeah.
if he's even like, he could be like 7, 8 meters away.
Yeah.
Takes about 2 seconds to close that distance.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
moment he pulls that knife out, or if he threatens, pulls that knife out, the moment he goes to run at you, you've got full right to shoot him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
It's
I'd have to
different
agree
when
with
it's
that.
life or death situation. If it's just one guy and he's threatening to punch your face in, and then he's got what, a fist,
Yeah.
then yes, you can't shoot that guy.
But you can shoot him once he's in range? Or no?
No. Oh well,
Okay,
you can't shoot him in the fucking face. But if you were to shoot him in the leg or something, that would be fine.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier said than done, though. But I mean, when you say he's in range, he's got to be pretty close. So it's not too
Yeah,
hard to shoot him in the leg then.
but that's different because this dude doesn't have a weapon.
Yeah, and you don't have the right to shoot him before he's in range, anyways. So it's not like when someone's running at you really fast and it's really hard to get a hit on their legs, like when they have a weapon. You know what
Well,
I
no,
mean?
that's not. Yeah, no, I get that. I know what you're saying, but even then, you shouldn't pull a gun on this dude. He's
Yeah. Okay.
not really a threat. If
Okay.
you've got that distance, then turn around and fucking run. Your best chance is be a pussy. I fucking would turn around, go,
Yeah.
run.
What about what? Okay, here's
But
another
if you've got
situation.
no other choice, like, let's say this guy is threatening you life or death, comes up, he's going to say, "I'm going to bash you to death." Then yes, if you've got a gun on you, you've got full permission to fire because you believe your life is in danger. Not saying that you'll get off scot-free because you shot this guy. The cops are going to say, well, he hasn't got a weapon, you've got a weapon, though he threatened your life. That
Yeah.
there will be a charge. There will most likely be a charge.
Okay, what about if the guy's running at you, right? And let's say you're a police officer and you have your gun on you because you were investigating something where you needed to have your gun on you. And the guy ran over to you and then started to try and take your gun. Then would you have permission to shoot?
Does the guy have a weapon?
No, he's trying to take your gun.
Well, no. With a police officer, you are trained to stop things like that. So if he's trying to take your gun, and a cop will normally notice a guy running at him
Yeah,
before the guy gets within range. If the guy runs up from behind and tries to steal the gun,
yeah, that's what I'm
um,
meaning.
if he comes up behind the cop and attempts to steal the gun, and he's still attempting when the cop sees and doesn't get the cop's gun,
Yeah.
like if the cop is able to disarm him, he can't then turn the gun on him and shoot him.
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, no, that's
That's too
obvious.
much force. That's way too much force.
That's okay. That's obvious now. What about if he tackles this cop over, and then starts strangling him, and then starts trying to reach for the gun? Then does the cop have permission to take the gun out and shoot him?
Yes, the cop does have the right to take the gun out and shoot him as it was a threat to his life. He was about to die, he was being choked, and this guy reached for it.
Okay, what about without the
But
strangle, but an arm lock, and then he tries to take the gun, and then yeah, and you don't know what he's gonna do with the gun, but he's got you currently in an arm lock.
and the cop can still reach his gun.
Yeah,
That would fall under a lot of different things. Yes, in the end, if the gun is his last option, if this cop can't break out of the armbar or roll or anything, if this
hmm.
cop can't move and this guy's instantly gone for that gun, then yes, the cop can pull the gun. But if he instantly fires to kill, like, let's say there's a witness
Yeah.
and he sees that this guy's got this cop in an armbar and sees the cop pull the gun and shoot this dude straight through the face, then no, that cop's getting done. Because cops,
What?
again, they train firearms.
Yeah.
So he should be able, like, there's no way that you're going to shoot a dude in the fucking shoulder or pull the gun and then shoot the dude in the hip or something and he's not going to roll off you or lose pressure. And because it's a cop that's in danger, then yeah, there's going to be repercussions from that.
Yeah, okay. Let's say it's a regular civilian, and the same situation
All
happened,
right.
but the guy who came up to him had a gun on him, like the guy, the criminal or the bad guy, the baddie in the situation, had a gun on him. And then what happened is while they were in the struggle, the gun came out of his holster, and then it was next to them in reach of both of the people. And now he has the civilian in the armbar, and the civilian can't move, and the criminal says, "Okay, this is so serious, but I don't know why I'm laughing." But the criminal says, "I know, I know what my next move is," and then goes for the gun. Does the civilian have permission to get the gun and shoot him before he reaches the gun?
Right, was that shitty 80s cop bad line or bad guy line supposed to be his intent?
I don't know. I want to see what it is if the bad guy says that versus if the bad guy doesn't say that.
Well, regardless, the guy's reaching for a gun. So, with this, it'll be real weird. Because if there's no witnesses around,
Hmm.
and the cops turn up and this guy's got like a clean record and shit, and he sees that there was a struggle, you ended up with the dead dude's gun,
Yeah.
and you put a bullet in him, and you killed him, then that will most likely not sway in your favor. But if there was witnesses who saw the brawl, like they were in like a building or something, or they were away from it, but they saw what happened, saw that bad guy had a gun, the criminal,
Yeah.
and saw that you got that gun first and you put a bullet in him, then no, you're fully in the right because
Okay.
you've got
So,
witnesses. They
and I'm.
saw that this guy threatened your life and had a gun.
Yeah, okay. So he originally didn't have the intent because obviously he came up behind you and he could have shot you, but he wrestled you. But then after wrestling you, after figuring out that it's a bit harder than he thought, he said, "I know what my next move is," and then went for the gun. Then I think you're in the
What a
right, right?
fucking shitty 80s line. Like, where the fuck did you pull that from?
I don't know. It just came out of
Was that
nowhere.
from, like, Lethal Weapon or
I
something?
don't know. I have to use that. I have to use that in a movie at some point.
I know what my next move is. Pulls his cock out.
Yeah. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Just people being in like a struggle, and then he goes, "I know what my next move is," and then just trying to grab a gun, and then the person in the armbar sees it, and then they have to make the decision. You know, I don't know why that's so
Really?
hilarious
Because
for
when
me.
I heard that line, when you first said it, I heard, I know what my next move is. Reaches for the gun as a distraction, guy whips his dick out.
Fucking hell.
Surprise attack!
From behind.
But no, yeah, in that situation, it all depends on your surroundings, if there's other people there, and how the court would view it.
Yeah. So remember, if there aren't any other people there, you're better off just letting them kill you.
Well, no, you're better off living, but with your argument and not a solid confession, even if it comes
Yeah.
up guilty of murder, the struggle plus the evidence plus the without confession, and if you have a good lawyer, you shouldn't do that much time if you do time at all.
Oh, okay, but then maybe your life turns into a living hell in prison. But you never know.
Well, yeah, pretty much, but like it depends on how you play the court.
Yeah, well, that's.
Normally,
Well, I mean, you could also say that you just kill them to survive. If the court finds you guilty, you decide whether or not you want to go through your prison sentence in prison. I guess, right?
pretty much, if they
Because
find you guilty, well, you hope you still got that gun on you.
yeah, you can just decide whether or not you want to do the prison route or take the easy way out. Oh god, that's dark. But the ball's still in your court in that place in that situation though. That's the bright side, as they say. Always look on the bright side of life. All right, that was a great segment. Do you want to move to the next segment? Am I the asshole?
Yeah, I think I've covered all the things I want to on assault,
Yeah, me
where
too.
you can legally, like from my standpoint. Well, no, actually, I do see it in a legal light too. Like if a guy came up to me and he was mouthing off and he was saying things like, "Your mum's fat, you're ugly, your mate over there's got cancer," bullshit like that,
Yeah,
then yes, I would be very uncomfortable and I would probably spit words back at him too. Like, yeah, at
yeah,
least I'm not the guy who finds fun in making other people's lives miserable.
yeah, yeah.
But then if the guy was yelling something like, "Hey, I don't like your face, I'm gonna bash it in,"
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
comes at me,
Yeah.
then yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that.
Or no, no. He just says, he just says, "I don't like your face. I know my next move," and then winds back his head. Imagine someone
But
coming up to you saying, you're bloody ugly, mate. I hate your face. I know my next move," and then winding up their
I
fucking
know
fist.
my next move. Man winds it up cartoon style.
He's like
Guy
swinging his
starts
arm
throwing his
over.
hand in a windmill.
Yeah, he's windmilling his arm. He's making
I know
sounds.
what my next move is.
He's making sounds while he's windmilling it, like. Meh.
then yes, I am going to defend myself in that situation.
All right, all right.
So no, I completely agree with the laws behind it.
Yeah, I think I've got to mostly agree with the laws behind it as well. There's probably some sort of nuance that I could think of, but at the moment I can't. So, next segment then, eh?
Bring it on.
All right. So, this segment, Am I the Arsehole? Basically, we look through Am I the Arsehole posts on a website and decide whether or not the person who wrote it is an asshole, and we also judge the other people in the story. So, first one. Am I the asshole for making people uncomfortable at my friend's wedding? What do you think?
I think I'd need way more context than that.
Yeah, I think so
Like, if
too.
you went out, is this a chick or a dude?
You don't get to find that out yet.
Well, if he or she got up on stage and, like, chick whipped the tits out, or dude whipped his dick out, and made everyone uncomfortable, yes, you're a fucking asshole.
Or if you got out your own asshole, then yes, the rest of you is also an asshole.
Yeah, but then, like, if the guy is like, if they just so happen to go to a wedding with a whole bunch of antisocial, awkward people, and they were very outspoken, then yes, you're not a fucking asshole.
Yeah. All right. Ready for the context? I agree with you,
Bring
by
it
the
on.
way. I, 25-year-old female, went to my friend's wedding tonight and was seated next to a mutual friend, Beth, 30-year-old female, and her husband, Josh, 29-year-old male. Ooh, a cougar. Fucking 1 year difference.
Oh.
We used to all be in the same friend group, but Beth and I had a falling out a few months ago, so I hadn't seen them since. I noticed Josh was being pretty passive aggressive towards me tonight. For example, when he got up to get a drink, he asked everyone except me whether they would like one as well, and made it a point to skip over me. I didn't take offense to this, but I did notice him doing things like that all night. At one point, though, the whole table was cracking jokes, and Josh kept making racially charged comments for laughs. He was making some awful jokes about black people being criminals and cotton pickers. I put up with all the other stuff, but the comments really upset me, especially considering my boyfriend is black. Everyone was kind of laughing. Oh no, as everyone was laughing, I said, I don't get the joke. Can you explain it to me? Everyone at the table went kind of quietly, and he awkwardly said he was just making a joke. I didn't back down and said, yeah, I just don't get it. Why is it funny? It was awkward until someone changed the topic. The bride and groom weren't around for this conversation, so I got up to say goodbye and went home. After I left, I started getting texts from other people in the friend group saying I made everyone uncomfortable and I shouldn't have said anything because it's a wedding and they were just having fun. Beth went on off at me, saying she and her husband didn't know my boyfriend is black because they've never met him and he couldn't make it tonight. So it was really unfair of me to embarrass him when he's a really good guy. I don't feel bad for shaming him in front of people, especially at our friend's wedding, but he was really getting on my nerves. Oh no, I do feel kind of bad for shaming him in front of people, especially at our friend's wedding. But he was really getting on my nerves and felt defensive of my partner. She felt defensive. So, am I the asshole for embarrassing someone at a wedding for making racist jokes? What do you think?
Yes, no, I fully think you are.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're the asshole.
Like, whoa! First time in this fucking series, we've got someone who actually is the asshole. And this
Woohoo!
ties in so well with what we were talking about.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
where do I start? First of all, I understand you're getting defensive for your husband, but you yourself are not black.
Yep.
I know a lot of black people that laugh at jokes like that. I know a lot of Indian people that laugh at Indian jokes that I make. Like, it's all good. They find it funny. It's when people who aren't a part of that sort of thing find it offensive on behalf of
Yeah.
a black person or
I
Indian
agree.
person. If I found that, if I cracked a black joke and a black dude came up to me and said, "Hey, I don't appreciate that joke," I wouldn't tell it again because I know where he stands on it, and
Yeah,
because it might be a really controversial thing for him. He might have grown up like that. Like I might have made a joke about black people in the hood and criminals and shit. If he came up to me and told me that, even if he didn't tell me the story behind it, if this black kid or black dude came up to me and said, "Hey, I don't like that joke. It was pretty offensive," I would apologize for it because that might have been a life that he grew up in. I don't know the
yeah,
backstory. But I
yeah,
agree that, yes, it is offensive for him.
yeah,
It was a joke specifically around his
yeah.
stereotype or his color and the stereotype for his color. Now, if a white chick came up to me and told me, "Hey, I don't like that joke, it was offensive," oh, I would look at her and go, "To who?" Because it obviously wasn't offensive to you because you ain't black.
The joke wasn't about her, so she doesn't have the right to call someone out upon the joke.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't have the right to fucking grill somebody about it.
Yeah, because a joke is like this. I would say, yeah, if it's a black person and the black person's offended by the joke, or let's say it's a joke about, because it's always about the black people and stuff. So I'll switch it up and say it's an Indian person, and they made a joke about Indian people and the accent or something, and the an Indian person says, "Hey, I didn't like that joke. Could you like not make jokes like that to my friends or around me?" Then I would understand it, right? I'd completely understand
Yeah,
that. But when it comes to anyone, like let's say a Chinese person comes and says, "Oh, well, that's offensive to Indian people," then it's like, well, you can't really talk on their behalf because this was a joke, right? You're not really the person
yeah.
who can really get offended by this sort of stuff. So you can't
It's like,
really
"Oh no, that's offensive to Indian people." The fuck you
you
say to me,
can't
Ching
say,
Chong?
yeah, you can't be offended on someone's behalf. The only time I think that you really can speak out is if someone genuinely thinks these things. You know what I mean? Like if someone's
Yeah,
genuinely saying that all black people are criminals and stuff,
yeah, right.
you can come
If
out and say,
fucking
yeah,
if I see a comedian make that joke, it's funny. Like, okay, let's put this into a context.
yeah,
Fucking comedian walks out on stage. It's like, "Oh yeah, nah, all black people are from the hood. They're all cotton pickers. Blah blah blah."
yeah,
I think that's funny.
yeah.
Now, if the same thing was to happen, but you turn that guy into a KKK member, then we've got a problem.
Yeah, but if it's like your mate and you're sitting at the table somewhere and
Yeah, and you're just fucking cracking jokes.
then no.
Like, no one there means what they're saying.
Yeah.
And he said he was just making a joke.
Yeah. I mean, there might be a thing about, like, if it was just talking about black people over and over again, and every time you saw him, he started saying, "Oh, those fucking black people, am I right?" Every time he talked about him and didn't make any other jokes ever, then I guess it would sort of, there's sort of a bit of
Yeah,
leeway
no.
there, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I fully understand that. Like, if this is the only thing this guy says, then there's gotta be some sort of fucking intent behind it, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
This guy's like the one NPC in the game that has nothing else to say.
Yeah, it's
You
like
walk up to him every day and it's like, "Fucking black people."
and he always defends himself by saying, "Oh, bro, it's just a joke, bro, just a joke."
It's just a joke.
And then like you
Oh, it's
start
like,
talking about
bro.
things, it's like, "Oh, well, by the way, I actually got a promotion the other day," and he's like, "Oh, that's real cool, though. Those fucking cotton pickers, you know." Like every time something bad happens to you, you're like, "Oh, must have been the fucking slaves." Or some shit like that,
Must
you know?
have been the fucking blacks.
And then I think,
Yeah,
like,
no,
yeah,
then that goes from being a joke to hate speech.
because you're consistently making
Yeah,
jokes
it's
about
the
the
only
same thing
thing you
over and
fucking
over.
say. It's like you live and breathe Black Lives Don't Matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's a whole different story.
Yeah,
But if this guy was sitting there and just cracking a joke around people at a table, then yes, I completely think that you're a fucking
yeah.
asshole.
And it didn't sound like she didn't say that they were doing jokes all like about black people for 10 hours. They just said racially charged comments for laughs. So maybe they talked about Chinese people, then black people, then white people, then Indian people, and it might have just been going around. And in that case,
Yeah, and I
especially,
feel like
she's the asshole
in this situation, with that earlier passive aggressiveness from this dude, she did that
before.
mostly out of spite and used her husband as an
Yeah,
excuse. Like, I might be
yeah,
wrong.
that's
I might
true.
be wrong, but that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. And it sounds like maybe she's already done this before, and that's why he's acting like that. He's not really passive aggressive, but he's also like being super careful because he's scared that if he like gives her a drink, she might be like, "I have a boyfriend," or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. There are a few edits, so
Well, no, I kind of agree. I kind of believe her when she says that some stuff happened and with this dude's missus, and so he's being passive aggressive. I do understand that there are people who are that petty, but at the end of the night, it
oh my
was a
god,
wedding.
the
So
fucking
you should have
edits.
put that aside.
And it's their wedding, wasn't it? Yeah, I think that's how it
No,
was.
it was their mutual friend's wedding.
Oh, but if everyone at the table was all good with it and no one was like, okay, can we not do these jokes now or something? She didn't even say it like that. I mean, obviously she said, I don't get the joke. That's okay, right? Like if someone
Oh,
doesn't get the joke, that's
also,
okay.
let's just stop there right there. The joke was because of a racial stereotype linked to the color of dark-skinned people.
Yeah, if you
There.
say that and then they're like, oh, okay, I'm not familiar, then that's also, you wouldn't be the asshole.
Yeah,
It's like
no,
someone
because you
who's been living
genuinely
under
didn't
a rock.
understand. But you know you understand,
Yeah.
unless this is like your 80th birthday, Grandpa.
And even so, the 80th fucking Rampage people would have fucking gotten it more. that would have
Oh, I
been.
remember those days.
And then you would have been like on the side of Wade. Is my grandpa an actual racist? you know?
Yeah,
The worst part for me is like she says, I don't get it. Can you explain it to me, right? Then everyone doesn't explain it, which is kind of like why. But I
yeah,
think they
like
they
that's
probably
not.
realize that she's the same kind of person. But then once she says, "Yeah, I just don't get it. Why is it funny?" When she says, "Why is it funny?" that means she's a bit of a bitch or an asshole to me. When she's like, "Oh, why is it funny? Do you think it's so funny that black people were slaves?" You know?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, lady, if you see this, but that was a big Karen move.
Yeah, that
Like, one,
was.
that's not your wedding. Two,
Yeah,
you broke the atmosphere because you wanted to be petty.
yeah,
You being petty just brings you down to this guy's level. Passive aggressiveness. It's like eye for an eye sort of shit. That's not how that works.
yeah,
If you can't be
exactly.
better than the person that's insulting you, you're just as much scum as he is. So, like, basically, she's the asshole in my eyes because she sunk down. Not only because she stopped the joke and made the whole situation awkward at a wedding, but because she dropped down to his level of petty by being passive aggressive.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with
Not
that.
only did you ruin the atmosphere, but you resorted to an eye for an eye, which is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, and
Like
it's a
that just makes
bullshit
you
way
just
of
as
doing
much
it too.
scum as this man.
Completely unjustified way of doing it. It's so stupid to get all like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
anti-racist sort of thing because people made
yeah, no, what a
jokes and
fucking dumb way
everyone
to
was
do
enjoying
it.
it.
If you had called him out for his actions and not just completely ruined the mood, like, I wouldn't have even cared if you had stood up and declared that he was doing that, or you spoke up about it instead of being just as petty as he was.
What do you mean? Do you mean like if she said these jokes aren't funny?
No, I mean about because that wasn't the main situation.
Yeah,
That was what she said in response, but about him being petty. If she brought up the fact that he's been being petty all night, then I
yeah,
wouldn't think she's the asshole. But because she literally did it, she got back at his passive aggressiveness by being passive aggressive. I think you're the asshole in the situation because he was only passive aggressive towards you. You ruined a whole moment for the whole crowd at someone else's wedding.
yeah. That's true. Yeah, okay, I'm
That's
gonna
how
agree
that,
with you pretty much on almost everything.
yeah. I don't see how you could disagree.
Yeah, me neither. But these edits will fill you in on how some people disagree. So, are you ready for them? You ready to be hit by them? Because you really are going to be hit by them.
Oh no!
You ready?
What is guy gonna punch me in the face?
No, that would be a little bit less in your face, and like that would be a
I'm gonna
little bit
use
less annoying.
self-defense.
That would be a little bit less annoying than these edits.
Alright, well, let's hear them.
Okay, first edit. Thank you for such positive responses on this post. Many of you have questioned why I'm friends with racists, or said that I need new friends. Rightfully so. I mentioned briefly in the first paragraph, but maybe I wasn't clear enough. I have not considered these people my friends for several months now. I met them in college before I knew they were like this, and Beth and I have always butt heads. I have not seen most of them since my fallout with Beth, since they followed her lead in ostracizing me from the group, which is fine by me. I am now in grad school, and my boyfriend and other friends now conduct research on racial inequality in education. So I think it's fair to say my new friends are very anti racist. That's edit one. I edit two. I ignore.
Because they're no. Just because they're cracking jokes does not make them full blown racists.
I
You're
know,
just butthurt.
what a fucking bitch! I can't. No, this is such an awful person to be around. Like,
Oh, you're
the whole research on racial inequality in education, having a black boyfriend, that's all good, fair and well, right? But for
yeah,
jokes, meaning that people are racist, and then you need to say, I met them in college before I knew they were like this. As if they're showing their true colors by saying some jokes. Like,
yeah. By
what
cracking a
the
fucking joke. Like, how offended can one person get over a joke that wasn't even about them?
Yeah, I know. Are you ready for Edit 2? It's going to hit you as well. It's going to hit you a bit more, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I acknowledge that. Okay, Edit 2. I acknowledge that. Okay, I'm giving you a bit of hope. You know, a bit of hope. I acknowledge, right? You're feeling a bit
Just fucking
hopeful?
hit me over the head.
Okay. I acknowledge that it's important to call out racism. I think that part is non negotiable. I was more seeking judgment on the appropriateness of calling him out in front of others. My social mistake, as another person phrased it. Beth said if I had a problem, I should have confronted him privately and not where he had been drinking. The ones in the friend group who texted me didn't necessarily agree with Josh's comments, but they said that I made things weird and I could have gone about it another way. Well, I'm just going to come out and say I also didn't agree with Josh's comments. You know why? Because they were fucking jokes. I don't think he himself even agreed with his own comments.
The man was intoxicated.
And he was
That
joking.
just my guy was cracking a couple jokes with the lads while he was having a couple drinks, and you were that one motherfucker there that shat in the fucking bowl of punch.
It's so. I love how she's saying it's important to call out racism. It is non negotiable. It's
You
like
are
she's.
so the guy who drinks everyone else's drinks at a fucking party, you loser. You're the one that nobody wants there.
Exactly. It's someone who thinks they're. She literally thinks she's a superhero. That's how I see it. She thinks she's a fucking. She thinks that she's the bit. Like the. She thinks she's a saint.
But she thinks she's the real life keyboard warrior.
Fucking. Oh, I
The
don't like
racial
these
justice
people,
fighter.
bro. I do not like these people. Are you ready
Yup,
for edit
no,
3?
there's another one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think this one's as bad, but I haven't. I'm just looking at the top sentence. I just knew that these first ones were gonna be really hitting and pungent.
bring it on.
Alright, edit 3. For those asking for info about my initial fallout with Beth, I found out I was the only one in our friend group she didn't invite to her birthday. There were 6 of us. I reached out afterwards and she just said she never considered us friends and only invited me to events in the past for the sake of our mutuals. She didn't want to make space for those kinds of relationships in her 30s. I respected that, but it hurt that those who I considered to be close friends didn't invite me to their events after that either. The bride and I continued talking and were on good terms, so I wanted to support her on her wedding day. I can understand Beth. To be honest with you, I also wouldn't want to invite her to my birthday. To be honest,
Alright, taking this from a non biased mutual standpoint from before when I heard that you were a cunt.
yeah,
No, I do understand where she comes from on that one. Like,
yeah,
I fully get that.
yeah. I get that.
Like, all of a sudden, this one stops talking to you, and then all the other ones stop talking to you. It's like, oh, well, fucking ouch.
Yeah. But I have a feeling that this isn't the first time something like this has happened,
Yeah, no.
and I
No, I
feel like
highly doubt that.
I feel like she was being all real passive aggressive all the time and never really did her big confrontation of the racists until this wedding. I feel like she did that, and that's why Josh was being like passive aggressive or like being like a bit, towards her at the start.
See, this is one of the first fucking ones of these that we've done where I wanted to hear the other side's story.
Yeah, I want to hear the other side story so much. But even hearing
Yeah, like,
from
I
this
want to know
person's side of
what
the
this chick
story,
was like
yeah,
so I could decide, oh, yep, no, I wouldn't want to be friends with you either, or whatever. I want the other side's story because from this point of view, you sound like an absolute prick.
yeah, an asshole. Fucking butthurt
Yeah, like,
asshole, I've got to
fucking
say.
private party pooper over here.
Party poop. That's a good way of putting it. All right, so
Well,
basically,
just get that calling her a cunt.
okay, should we just talk about how should we give this person a message directly about how they could be better in the future? Because we've never actually come across someone who's an actual asshole.
Well, yeah, alright. So
So
speaking directly to you, madam, not in a hostile way, of course. That sounded pretty hostile.
yeah,
I do understand your opinions on things like that, but from this point of view and the way you've written it, makes it seem like you took a joke too far to try and shame the guy who told it, and that was an asshole move because you just dropped to being as petty as he was, and I feel like you're using the whole racial thing as an excuse. And if it was just a joke and you understood that, you were told that, and everyone else at the table understood that it was a joke isn't something to take seriously. If you take it seriously, then you're the only one there that doesn't find it as a joke.
yeah,
Like, when you take a joke too seriously, it just means that you're too much of a strict person. You've got to learn to take things on the chin or be able to laugh and roll with the punches. You can't get offended at everything that goes slightly
but
wrong,
yeah, I've got
even
to
though
put a
it was just.
caveat. I've got to add a caveat that she doesn't have to roll with the punches because these weren't even punches. They weren't even punches at her.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
But
Continue.
yeah, no. The thing is, you've got to learn about what a joke is. It was just a funny moment, and you decided that that was the time to ruin it
Yeah.
at a wedding.
Yeah. I agree.
Even if you didn't like the joke, if you genuinely didn't like the joke, you didn't have to do it like that.
Yeah. And just like getting
You did it
offended at
like
the
that
joke
out
is
of
just,
fun,
yeah. Yeah. I got to
and
agree
that's
with
what
you.
made you.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yep, bring it on. Better not
Oh,
be like that.
the title is pretty. The title is pretty intense on this one. Okay.
Oh,
You ready for it?
yep, I'm fully ready.
Am I the asshole for laughing when I heard that my kid's stepmom was diagnosed with diabetes? What do you think?
I think I laughed.
Is she the asshole for that?
Wow, this one's gonna expose me quite a bit, because no, I don't. Because I laughed at it.
I laughed at it because of the absurdity of the situation. It just sounds like the title, just out of context. Am I the asshole for laughing when I heard my kid's stepmom was diagnosed with diabetes? I just get an image of in my mind that's like real cartoony, you know? And it's like a war between like the real mum and the stepmom, and then as soon as like they've like been going back and forth for a while, right? And like having problems, and then the stepmom ends up having diabetes, and she's like, "Ha! I've got the last laugh." You know what I mean?
Yes,
I
no,
just
no, I fully understand. That's exactly how I see it. It's like, ha, shame,
yeah.
take that.
But to say that in terms of like laughing and being like, "Ah, take that," when someone gets diabetes, I don't have the context. So if she was a real bitch, then you're not the asshole. But if you're just jealous of her because she's the person who your ex fucking boyfriend or ex husband is now with, and you're jealous and you're annoyed at her and you're laughing because she got diabetes, you're the asshole.
Okay, now if we take this from my point of view, because of my moral compass and how out of whack it is, if you take this from a normal moral compass, then yes, I fully agree with you. Except for, like, you shouldn't laugh at somebody when they've got something that'll kill them.
Yeah.
But because if I'm going off what I'm thinking right now, regardless of the situation, I don't think she's the asshole.
Okay. And why is that?
Because regardless of who would have told me, if they walked up to me and said, I've got diabetes, I would fucking laugh.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, it's the cartoony thing. It's the whole cartoon.
Yeah,
It
like,
feels
even
real
if my
cartoony.
dad not my dad, even if I fucking had a kid and then he came up to me and said, dude, I got diabetes. Ha! Oh, you're fucked.
Oh
I'm an
my.
asshole.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I've got to say that there's a caveat though. Like, it depends on the situation. If they've been going back and forth and the stepmom's been a real bitch to her and she laughed, go ahead, have that laugh. You're not an asshole for that. But
Hey,
if she
go
didn't,
on.
eh?
All I thought was fucking this bitch laughing, the one that's got diabetes, is she's laughing, and then the other one turns around and goes, yeah, you can have that laugh. It won't last long.
It won't last long. When's the last time you checked your blood sugar? It's just like, oh shit.
Knowing you, you'll be out of breath by the end of that laugh.
Oh, fucking hell. Alright, are you ready for the context?
Yep.
So, I am fat, but my kids, 1 and 2, I'm guessing. I don't know if that's age or if she's naming that. I'll guess it's. Well, you don't need to comment on a fucking 1 and 2 year olds fucking if they're fat or not, but let's just say 1 and 2 are the names for this post. So she's fat, the kids are not. Their stepmom, who she's naming SM, but I can just say stepmom. Their stepmom was fat as a kid/teen, then lost weight, but gained it all back plus some when she had a baby and became a mom. From what I gather, she is very insecure about her weight and looks. She regularly projects these insecurities onto my kids, talking about their bodies, what they eat, their hair, their clothes, etc. Always saying that they should watch what they eat so they don't get diabetes. She and X also like to regularly bring up my weight and say that they don't want the kids to end up a fat, lazy slob like me. Okay, yeah, okay. It has been really affecting my kids to the point where kid number 2 is currently seeing a therapist that specializes in erectile dysfunctions? EDs. I don't know what that stands for. When X and SM were getting married, the ex, yeah. Kid 2, who was 7 at the time, said to me, Stepmother says some ice cream is okay, but you should save the rest for the dress because my dress is for skinny people. I obviously spoke to the stepmother about this, but it did not go down well. Well, spoke is not really what I did. I went off on her. When the kids next had to go to their dad made the kids apologize to the stepmother for hurting her feelings. Anyways, so needless to say, I learned that confronting my ex and stepmother about their treatment of the kids just makes things worse for the kids. So on to the situation. Kids went to their dads for the night and came home the next morning. They told me stepmother was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I said to them, Oh, well, that's too bad, and left it at that. I then called a friend and told her while laughing. My friend said she understood the irony of it and that she wasn't a fan of the stepmother either, but that I shouldn't laugh. I'll be honest, it's pure Schadenfreude? What? Is this a German? I'll just say it's Schadenfreude if you understand that, but I feel like you don't. Do you understand that?
Not a fucking clue.
It's pure Schadenfreude. I guess that's irony. Sound like the word combination seems like irony for me. And I know it, but I also really don't care. So, am I the assholes? Am I the asshole? What do you think?
Just quickly, there is something I did not address. There is one reason I wouldn't laugh at diabetes,
Yeah,
and that's because if the person who got it I knew had
type
body
one.
problems, like a body
Oh,
confidence problem, then no, I wouldn't laugh at them because I know how that can feel to some people.
yeah. What about type one as
Not
well?
personally, I'm not body conscious of myself, but I know other people who are, and they get fucking actually pretty sad, and they come
Yeah,
cry about it, and it's like, yeah. So I know how people can feel after something like that. So if I know you're body conscious, and then you say, "Oh, I got diabetes," and you're a reasonably big person, I'm not going to comment on it.
yeah. Okay. What about type one diabetes? Would that change anything for you?
Um,
Because this person got type 2, which is the irony. But if she got type 1, there would not really be any reason to laugh because it has no relation to someone
yeah,
being
there's
fat.
no relation to being fat, overweight, or having too much sugar.
Yeah,
That's strictly a blood thing.
that's just you're born, and that's,
Yeah, you've
unlucky.
got it.
Unlucky.
And you've got now here, have some insulin. Here's a daily EpiPen shot. Shame, suffer.
here's here's a pancreas that doesn't work.
I picked this one out of spare parts.
Where'd you get this pancreas? The tip.
Yeah, no, if it would, that changes things. Like, there's not really much to laugh at. We'll
Yeah,
probably still crack jokes if it was one of my mates. It's like, oh,
yeah.
bro, like I'm sitting around and say me and you were sitting there, and someone else is sitting there, and he's got fucking
Type 1
um
diabetes.
type one. I would sit there and I would look at you while he's standing there. Go, oh, bro, imagine being born with type 1 diabetes. Imagine being born with a broken pancreas. What a fucking loser.
Yeah, yeah. That's just how we joke,
But that's
though.
just because I know our mates and they'll crack me back if I say something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. They'd just probably say something
Like,
like, they'd say something like, well, at least it's type 1. For you, it's going to be type 2. Or
yeah,
something
they
like
probably
that,
come back to me with something like, yeah, I was born with it. You were born without it and you've still got it.
eh? Yeah, you chose to have it.
You chose that. What a fucking loser. Yeah, it was my choice. It was a fucking bad choice. Yeah, no, but yeah, no, the bold body positivity thing, that changes it.
I think because of how she's acting and using her as a fat, lazy slob and constantly insulting me, it sort of justifies insulting the other woman. It justifies laughing at it with her
Oh
friend.
no, like in this situation, I understand that the stepmother's got body problems, like she's very sad and shit about that. But if you're gonna sit there and use me as an example, then yes, I am going to laugh at the irony that you got. Though
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck either.
yeah,
I'm going
exactly.
to laugh.
Not the
I
arsehole.
don't think that's the asshole. Yeah, no, not even close. I would laugh my fucking face off.
Yeah, okay. One other thing that I wanted to touch on is she says that she's always treating the kids worse, like really bad. And I'm guessing what she's doing is she's trying to like teach them shit and stuff, right? But she's doing it in the complete opposite way. My caveat has to say that obviously kids do need to learn the importance of eating healthily and the risks that are involved in not eating healthily. But to use their mother as an example or something, as long as the mother isn't, forcing things on them. Like if you're teaching the kids, okay, well, you should exercise because if you don't exercise, you'll increase your risk by this tenfold, then the kid goes and exercises, and then the mother's like, no, you shouldn't exercise, it's bad for your joints, even though it isn't, because they're trying to pull their kids back down and make sure that their kids are going to be fat like them because then if the kid can be better then why can't she, and there's the whole excuse thing. Then I think it would be okay to start actually saying, well, this is untrue and stuff, and sort of fighting with the mother of the children as well.
Yeah,
But
if
if
one
she's
party's trying to use the kids as an excuse and shit like that, then yeah, no, I fully agree with the whole. Yeah, well, your mother's only telling you that because she's a fat bitch too.
yeah, 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 I
I
agree with
agree
that.
with that. If you're
But if
just doing that out of nowhere and
Yeah,
out of spite, then
yeah,
that's a fucking dick.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
I'm
agree with
glad you
that.
got that. You
Yeah,
deserve it. You
yeah.
fucking bitch.
You deserve like bitch ass, fat ass.
Yo, bitch ass. You fucking. It goes straight to my hips looking ass. Motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah. I do have to stress that even though that the person who's doing all this sort of stuff is in the wrong here, it is really important to teach children from a young age to eat healthily and stuff. I think that is a really important thing that people will have to do.
Yeah, you might end up with diabetes like old fat ass.
Yeah, exactly. Old fat ass
Yeah, how's
relapse.
it feel being used as an example, you twat?
Yeah, just as you fucking did. This was the
Ugh.
other side of what I was saying before. If the kids start going, "Oh, that's a good idea" and stuff, right? And then they start like eating healthily and stuff, and the mother supports them eating healthily and is like, "Oh, that's good" and stuff, but the mother's still fat, right? And the mother supports it and isn't doing anything against it or trying to stop them from doing that, then I don't think it would be justified for the person to say, oh, well, your mom's a lazy slob, even though the mother was supporting them and eating healthily and stuff. You know what I mean?
No, no, that's just straight up fucking being an asshole.
Yeah.
You're just being spiteful now.
Yeah. But then again, if she starts going, no, we're not going to eat the lettuce, we're going to eat the fucking 6 things of fries. And no, you shouldn't exercise. It's bad for your development, even though, going for a
Get away
run
from that
is.
salad. You get back here and you eat your steak.
Yeah, yeah. If she was always doing stuff like that, even though the kids were wanting to like eat healthily and stuff, then I think then it's justified to use her as an example like that.
Well, nah, yeah, because it's either that or you're fucking gonna doom these kids.
Yeah, exactly.
But not in such a hostile way.
Yeah,
Like, the way he's put it across as fat, big fat slob.
yeah,
I'd more put it like, hey, don't eat like your mother. That's how she got to how big she is. And the way she is now, she's very unhealthy.
Yeah. Put it more in
Oh,
a
don't
nice
be
way.
like the big fat bitch mother.
You fucking big fat. Yeah. So I
You fucking
basically
oaf.
basically if you end up listening to this, you are not the asshole for that. You are justified in the situation, especially since you're not even laughing at her face. If you laughed at her face, it would be justified. I think because she was always doing
Yep, no,
that.
even if you laugh at her face, because I fully back you on this. Like, if you ever need backup, I got you, because I would have laughed in the bitch's face too.
Me too. I would have as well.
Just come to the podcast. We'll all laugh at her.
Yeah. The best thing as well would be like if the mother just started getting like real fit as well.
Like, fucking, this bitch has gotten diabetes, so fucking the actual mother starts tanking up and gets fucking jacked.
Yeah, just like lost all the fucking fat. Just like
Oh, that would
like
be such a flex.
I know you should do that. If that happens and you can find the time and find a workout routine or eating healthy that works for you, then you should do that. And it also, you can help guide your kids in a better way than your stepmother did because your stepmother had body image issues and it seems like the way she does this stuff with the kids, it's less of like you need to eat the best so that you can be the best. It's more like you need to eat the best so you can be thin, and that's a dangerous place to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It could be such a fucking Chad move if
Yeah.
she goes over to the house one day to pick up the kids. The fucking diabetes stepmom walks up guess what I'm gonna do with the kids today? I'm gonna do something you can't. What? Run?
Yeah.
I'm going for a run with my kids.
Yeah, just doing all that shit just comes up like just starts getting really fit like in the next few months.
Fucking turns up on the doorstep with a carrot.
Yeah. But also in saying that, being fit doesn't mean always eating just healthy food. It means having moderation. So sometimes eating your unhealthy food and your junk food and stuff for enjoyment, but not overdoing it, and making sure
Oh
you're
no
eating
no
things
no!
you
With the
need.
carrot, it was to scare away the diabetes lady.
Oh yeah.
Just to keep her away from the doorway.
Yeah. Okay, yep, you're not the asshole. Fucking laugh about it. Make as many jokes as you want about it, especially when you're talking to your friend and not even in her
Yeah,
face.
no,
For
it's
fucking
look at us. We're on the outside of the situation, and we're ripping this bitch apart.
yeah, she's a total bitch. Oh man, that was a good one. I liked that story.
Yeah, no, that was great. I did enjoy that.
That was
Such a
amazing.
good topic for after that bitch at the start.
Oh yeah,
Fucking
fucking
awful.
keyboard warrior, fucking bitch.
Yeah,
Jesus.
fucking keyboard warrior.
Oh god, are you ready for the next time, the asshole? The last one of the episode.
Yep, bring it on.
I feel like this one might not be as juicy, but oh well. Save the worst for last? We'll find out though. Alright, ready for that
Hud,
headline.
give it to me.
Am I the asshole for locking out my roommate's girlfriend and letting her sleep outside all night? What do you think?
I think it's quite funny,
It depends on the
but I
context
do
for me.
also think it's a dick move. But yeah, no, if it depends. It depends. Like, if it's like that kid from a couple episodes back who was a complete asshole in the house and got all the chances and shit, then no, I don't think he's an asshole.
Yeah. But if she just kicked her out because she was jealous of her and she wanted to be her roommate's girlfriend, or he, or whatever, then yeah, you're the asshole. You're definitely the
Yeah,
asshole in such.
you're an asshole. Yeah.
Or if you just think that she looked ugly and you didn't like her face, and then you're just like, I know what my next
Your
move
face,
is.
brother. I know what my next move is.
Then you're the asshole as well.
Oh, yep, no, bring it on. I need to hear the rest of this
Alright.
one.
I've been living in a small suite dorm. The way our room is set up is it's a single room with beds on each side. Our door leads to the small foyer that leads outside. The door from outside to the foyer locks when closed and can only. What? Locks when closed. Okay, that's pretty self explanatory, but. And can only be unlocked with a room key. So my roommate has his girlfriend over all the time. She's been in our room for the last 3 months and it hasn't been fun. She's unpleasant to live with and I only paid to have one roommate. My room charge was 4,000. Unless she wants to kick in for living here, she needs to be out. However, I try to be nice, so I made a deal with him that if he cleaned up after her regular and she was not there if he wasn't, I wouldn't say anything to the RA. He's been okay with cleaning, but he lets her stay there when he's not there. Like if he's at class for an hour, he'll leave her there. It bothers me. I don't know or trust this girl, and I'd prefer not to be alone in a bedroom with a random chick that I don't know. I don't want to get accused of anything or something like that. Okay, this is really fair criticism. I just don't feel safe alone with her. I also don't like her being alone in my room because I don't know if she'll eat my food or not. So this weekend my roommate went home and she was supposed to have left. I get back to my room from the library at about 11 and I order some food to my room for dinner. I'm eating, and around 1 or so in the morning, I hear banging on the outside door. I check, and it's her asking me to let her in. She's very clearly drunk and as a skunk and dirty, so I assume she walked here. I tell her no for obvious reasons. She started banging on the door. I ignored it again. Eventually, I was able to fall asleep. I woke up in the morning around 7, and when I went outside for my run, she was still there slumped against the wall. I woke her up and she laid into me. Told me how much of a dick I am and how dangerous making her sleep outside was. I told her I have no responsibility over her and she should have gone to her own place. Am I the asshole?
I understand where the criticism comes from. Like, I fully get it.
I fully
Like,
get the whole thing that,
if it
that
was
she could
just
accuse
that,
him.
and the chick, if it was just that, and then the chick showed up out of nowhere, completely sober, and said, "Oh, let me in," and that was it, then yes, I completely understand you making her sleep outside.
Yeah,
Because fuck this, but it's just the only thing that's swaying me, and it's
that she's
because of
drunk.
the course I was doing was because she was drunk.
Yeah. Did you
That was the
elaborate?
only thing that bothers me because I was doing a course with a guy, ex-cop, ex-military. I think he was ex-military. I know he's an ex-cop and he's ex-security. Long story short, he quit his job because on one of his last ones, they kicked the drunk chick from a bar, found her down the street. She had been raped and all that, and she was fucking face down on
Oh, yeah,
that. That's what's swaying me on this decision because
yeah, that's
just because of
true.
the morality of it. I was doing my security licenses, and if I did a job where that happened, if I was so careless that I sent this drunk chick, kicked her out of the bar, and told her find your own way home or just leave, and then I saw that, I would quit my job too. That would be the last job I ever worked. It's done. I'm not doing
Yeah,
security anymore. Fuck that.
yeah, yeah. I
Because that's
mean,
on my conscience. And I don't think she realizes, because a lot of people don't think about this. Even I didn't think about it before. When you do something like that, and the complete person's completely vulnerable and intoxicated,
yeah,
yeah, something
that's
might
a
happen to
really
the
good
chick. And I
point.
understand it's not your responsibility, but that's still another person that you could have stopped that from happening to.
Yeah,
It's that morality meter again. It's like, I understand how you feel about the chick, but you've got to have some morality in there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
Because you've got to imagine the outcome of the situation. Talking directly to this chick now, like,
Yeah.
imagine you didn't let her in,
No, I don't
and
think
that's
it's
a
a chick.
four.
I
And
think it's a
anyone
guy.
else can come into that foyer, but they can't get into the rooms, right? I'm assuming.
No, wait, hold up, hold up,
Um,
hold up. I'm letting you know. I'm pretty sure that this is a guy because he also stated that he didn't trust her, and one of the big things that he has is that he doesn't want that if he's there alone with her, that she's going to accuse him of having done something to try and get him to like leave the apartment or the dorm room. I don't think you picked that part up.
oh yeah, no, I didn't. But that is a good thing to have, but that still doesn't change this morality meter. I'm assuming you don't want to catch a case. That's fine. But yeah, no, this chick, she's out there, she's drunk, and she falls asleep out there. Guy comes out, you're asleep. Chick doesn't even realize she's gagged or her mouth is blocked before she can say anything. You wake up and you find her in a different state out there. Where's your mind is going? Or you wake up to the sound of police sirens and you walk
Yeah,
outside and it's a body being carted in a black bag into the back of a fucking ambulance. That's a whole situation of morality. No, personally, I don't think you're an asshole because I don't
yeah.
blame you for not thinking
I
about
don't
these
think it's an
things. But,
asshole, but yeah.
yep, no, I just think that you weren't cautious enough. I do understand the whole. I don't think you're an asshole. Like fully, I understand where you're coming from. You don't want this chick in your room for multiple reasons, justified, reasonable reasons. But
Yeah.
it's just to keep an eye out for things like that. Like that's a big weight on your conscience.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I never thought of it like that before. I don't know how I didn't
Not
think
many
about it like
people
that.
do. Even I didn't think about it until this dude, when I was doing my certificate, he told his stories on why he quit. He's told a whole bunch of stories. That's how I knew about the crime acts and shit.
Yeah,
Because I have been told all these stories, and that was the one that fucking got me. Because I'd never thought about it like that. I always thought security
yeah,
guards, they get the intoxicated people off site. That's their job done, and it
it is.
in
But
a business perspective, it is,
yeah,
but it shouldn't be. Your main goal is to make sure that the people on your venue are safe. That includes the ones that leave. They were under your care, so you got to make sure that they're safe. Even if it's
yeah.
not for your job, it's that morality.
Okay,
So if
then
you think that you can live with that on your conscience,
that's
then
up to you.
you're a better person than me. I sure as fuck couldn't.
Well, I wouldn't say you're a better person in that sort of situation,
Yeah,
to be
no, but
honest.
you get what I mean.
I think you would be a better person if you couldn't live with that on your conscience.
You'd be a good person if you couldn't live with that on your
Yeah,
conscience.
but he probably didn't think
But
about that at
you're
all.
one fucking tough-hearted motherfucker if you can live with that on there.
Yeah, he probably didn't think about that at all. Okay, but here's another
Exactly.
thing.
That's
Since
why I
we've
don't
got this
blame him.
open, we've pretty much opened this whole wormhole into a new way of looking at things. What are the solutions? How could he have done this differently without compromising his fears and stuff?
That's the thing. Sometimes you have to set those aside. It's more of a greater good sort of situation.
That's
Like,
true, but I'm just saying,
if this
how?
dude,
Is there any way?
there is, like, you let the chick into the room. Boom. That's one side. That's one solution. Yeah,
Okay,
she's gonna be annoying. She's gonna be how she normally is. She's drunk, and if anything tries to happen or any cases start, you're
okay, I would add a
assuming
caveat.
that you're like a normal dude, and this chick's like 5'6". It's not hard to put a drunk person to sleep once they're already out of the party. Lie them down, they'll be knocked out in a while.
Yeah, but
Boom, problem sorted. You let her in. Second option, call a taxi, call an Uber.
yeah, that was my other thing. Another caveat we could add to that first option is to let the boyfriend know.
Yeah, yeah, no, fully. Let them know, hey, your missus is at my place, or she's at our
At our dorm
dorm
room.
room, apartment,
She's
whatever the
drunk,
fuck.
blah blah blah. This is why I let her in, and then you have someone who's basically sort of a witness for you. So if she does come back and try and hit you with this case, you know,
Yeah.
The boyfriend knows because you know that you have the feeling that she doesn't like you, and that you know that stories have happened where if girls get into these situations, they think that they can use this against you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, this isn't to downplay the danger of leaving her out there, but it's also to make you think about more creative solutions to the problem that don't compromise either side. Because if you
Yeah, that's why
compromise,
it is.
because if you let her
Right.
in,
The only option is let the bitch into the room. Whatever happens from there, it's like you can sort something from there. But first, doesn't matter what goes on, let her into the room and then sort something else. Call a taxi, call an Uber, let her sleep there, whatever it is. But open the door, let the bitch in.
yeah,
Even
and
a good
let
thing
the
to do.
boyfriend know. Let the boyfriend know what's going on as well, because the boyfriend probably has no idea because he's at home and then she's all drunk and shit like this.
Oh, and another thing with the boyfriend would be a good idea. He probably knows the family. So get the number of him, and if he can't, if she's got a phone on her, get it.
Yeah,
Find the
get the
numbers. Find someone she knows. Find someone under a contact name like mum, dad, anything.
Yeah, because
Ring them.
if you do that sort of stuff and she does eventually if she does try and use this part against you in court and say, "Oh, I was drunk and he took advantage of me when I went into the room," because she's annoyed at you or whatever, I can understand that you have these fears. Then you can be like, but what about the calls and stuff I made? I didn't do that, and I had good intentions. I let her in because of blah 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 blah, and that's backed up by these calls and stuff I made, or these text messages I made, and trying to contact the family. What sort of person would try and contact the family before like sexually assaulting someone and taking advantage of a drunk woman? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just being able to give yourself an alibi.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you don't want a case, you give yourself an alibi, plus you're doing the right thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I gotta agree with you because I feel like it sways on both sides. If he acted like he did, and then he comes out and finds that the girl's been raped and murdered, then he's not going to be able to live with himself. But on the flip side, if he lets her in, she gets drunk and crashes. Then she goes and does a case against him, and he hasn't done any sort of safety net for himself. Then he's gonna be find it hard to live with himself like that too.
Yeah,
Because he's gonna be like, I did
no,
everything
no,
right
that's
and
what
she
you
just
fucking
spit in
have
my
to do.
face. You know?
You've got to be good with this sort of stuff. When it comes to, it's really big, especially no one looks at it, but drunk females, it's a
Yeah.
big fucking thing. You've got to think about it. You can't just, and like, when it comes to something like that, you always got the drunk female friend, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to a situation like that, you've really got to think about it. Because this could be life or death for somebody.
Yeah. And
And
don't neglect about thinking about
and
yourself,
you
but
could go
don't
to
think about
jail.
yourself too much to the point where it's like, it's gonna cost someone else or it could cost someone else. But
Yeah.
also do think
Like, the way
about your
you
own
went with
side.
that, like, I understand it, but the way you went with it was very selfish. I don't think you're an asshole, but when you look at it now, it is quite selfish.
Yeah, if you thought of these things and then didn't let her in, you are an asshole. But I'm willing to say that
Yeah,
you
no,
didn't.
you are fucking scum. If you thought about this, the way that we're telling it, the way that I've just told you, if you thought about it this way and then proceeded to let her sleep out there, you are a fucking, like, you're a fact, you different breed of human you are. You're
Yeah.
scum. You're the worst kind of person that I know.
Yeah, I've got to agree there. But I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt and say not the asshole.
Yeah, no, so am I. Until proven otherwise, you are not the asshole. And
Yeah.
fucking, I don't know why this topic. It's because of that fucking story made me see all of this in a different way.
Yeah.
That really fucks me off. If you think about this and then
And then just
you
go
let it
fuck
happen
her.
in. Yeah, no, because
Because
apparently
that's
there are a lot of security guards that do that, and I understand it's not your job to make sure that chick gets home, but you're still a fuckwit if you think about it like this, and then you fucking just throw her out.
Yeah, because it is.
Like, no, get
I
out,
think
you can't
when
get
it
to
comes to
walking.
something like
But,
rape or when someone's gonna die and you have the opportunity to do something, it is your responsibility.
yeah, when you know that you've got the opportunity and you just can't be asked, then yeah, no, that fucks me right off.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, if I saw one of my mates do that, like, if I had a mate who was telling me a story like that, like, oh, this chick was drunk as fuck, like a security mate. And he's like,
yeah,
oh, yep, no, this chick was drunk as fuck, didn't even know her lefts from her rights, so I just threw her out there. And then I told you, like, what you did was wrong,
yeah,
but I understand you don't think about it like that. And then you looked at me and went, ah, fuck it, who cares? It's not my job, but I would fucking floor you.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
couldn't,
That's
that's it. I couldn't do it. You wouldn't be my friend anymore, and I would never speak to you again. That would
yeah,
fuck me right off.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
That's
not my
true.
fucking responsibility when you know that that's going to happen. Oh, no.
Yeah,
No, I'm not about you, bro.
I'm not about you, bro.
Nah, bro. Nah, you fucked me off. I would drop you. You'd get one good one in your mouth.
Oh my
Because I know
god,
you're
yeah,
not going to tell me.
yeah. That's true.
You'd give me the, what the fuck was that for? Like, that was your first and last. Don't ever fucking speak to me again.
Yeah,
Oh man, that topic hit different.
yeah, yeah. I can tell, and
That was
it
really,
also opened my eyes a bit more.
yeah. No, that's what I was aiming to do with that whole story, because that's what opened my eyes to it. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Because I mean, I would normally think of it in this way if it was like if it was a stranger, I would think of it in this way, you know. But since it was someone that he had history with and someone that like he knew didn't like him, and someone who he felt like there was a real chance that she would do something to try and get him out. You know, completely stopped me from thinking in that way. You know what I mean? If it's like a random
Yeah,
girl
yeah,
and she showed up at my house, of course my girlfriend probably wouldn't like it, but I would probably let them in. You know, if
yeah.
they were
Well,
all
you're
drunk
fucking
and
drunk.
vulnerable.
Yeah, no, straight up. Like, if
Like
you're
if
wandering around, because if you're fucking drunk and you've been partying, I'm willing to bet, because most females do, not all, but a lot of females wear like really tight knit clothes or
yeah.
fucking exposing clothes. And when you're out at night in places like that, that's not fucking. No. Come inside, give me your phone.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like, yeah, especially if the girl was like if the girl was coming and came over and she was like, because this is I'm just giving situations where I would automatically think about that. Would be like if it was like a random girl and she came and rung the doorbell and like I answered the door and she started just saying into the intercom that she was scared and stuff and that she's drunk and then I would I would
Yeah,
always think of that and think, okay, I've got to let this person in and help them. But when it's someone you've got history with and you know, and then it's someone you
yeah,
really
no,
kind of
all you
dislike,
heard
then
from the story was the backstory.
yeah,
You heard the personality. You heard her hanging around uninvited sort of shit.
yeah,
So that
and
completely blows the judgment. That is 100% why I don't blame the guy.
yeah, that's the same story in like the
Moment.
security business as well. Because when girls are all like super drunk and they start causing like they start fucking doing a nuisance at the bar, you have to get rid of them out of the bar, otherwise the rest of the bar is not going to be happy. And you think of it from that perspective, you know.
Yeah,
And that's how you can forgive that guy that you were talking about as well. You know, you don't say, "Oh, you're a fucking dick," immediately when he
yeah,
says this
no, it's
story
like,
because he shows remorse
exactly.
for it and he didn't realize, you
Yeah,
know.
no, that's exactly why. Because you don't think about it in the heat of the moment.
Yeah,
But because my trainer told me that story or told our class that story, it'll always stick with me in that moment. And I'll always think about it because I've been told.
yeah. And that's fucking good training.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody get this man a raise.
Oh, it's kind of hard. I'm pretty sure my guy started the company.
Oh, go ahead and give yourself a raise.
I think you deserve a day off. But yeah, no, that's why I don't think the guy's the asshole, because
Yeah, I
you don't
agree.
normally think about it. You
But
do not think about it, and I
if
understand that.
but if you are listening, you know how now you can be better next time. So I hope that's
Yeah,
helpful.
and I hope everyone watching learns that. Like, if someone needs help and it's a situation like that, take that into account. Don't go, "Oh, this person's a stranger. Oh, I don't know you though.
Yeah,
Oh, nah." Now that, because you've watched this, you understand, and
yeah.
I know you understand.
Anyone
So
who's
just
watched
take
this
that into
has no
account.
excuse, except for people with dementia,
Yeah.
maybe, or
Well, no,
Alzheimer's.
yeah, no. I hope that you've got dementia, because you'll just up the views on this video.
He's just like in that situation. He's like, "Oh fuck, I heard that thing from that podcast that one time, but I can't remember what it is." And they just go and watch the podcast again. They're just like, hold up, wait up," like to the chick outside. They're just like, "Hold on, I think it's here."
Right?
Well, no, it's not here yet. Hold on, skipping. Yeah, I think it's in this segment. Oh no, okay, hold on. Just waiting to hear what he said.
Yeah, the fucking morality of it. I don't blame the guy. Fully, like, last time I'm going to say it, I don't blame him. And
Yeah, me
anyone else who
neither.
didn't think about it before watching this video, I don't blame you. I don't think you're an asshole for doing what you did. It's not something you commonly think about. But now that you've seen this, I blame you
If you
if
do
you
it
go
again.
out there and yeah, if you do it again, I fucking blame you.
Yeah, alright.
Don't ever talk. Don't
Yeah.
ever watch this podcast again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, guy's not the asshole.
Yeah,
He
I
will be
agree.
after this. But yeah, no, right now you're not an asshole.
Yeah. Alright. Sweet. So, to the intro. Are you ready to wrap this up?
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, no, I think I'm done on this topic. I've explained what I wanted to.
Okay, awesome. So, yeah, that is the end of the fifth episode of the Desensitized podcast. I hope you enjoyed, and next time, I guess we can. There was a list we have of topics we can talk about. Don't know what's going to be about. Don't know if we'll have a guest next time, but you'll have to wait and see. And as always, the next fucking episode of the podcast will come out within the next 5 years, hopefully.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah,
anything else you
yeah.
want to say?
Don't be too keen for it.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have anything else you want to say? Jade Waipara or Chad
Uh,
Murray?
no, no, no. But I do wanna hint that the next episode, I'm thinking I've already got a good topic for it that might link off right now. So if you haven't seen right now, well,
Watch it.
why the fuck skip to the end? What?
Yeah. All
You're an
right.
idiot. Your brain is on airplane mode.
Alrighty, sweet. That's the end. So goodbye. Have a good life.
Yeah,
Enjoy yourself.
no, don't kick females away if they're drunk.
And vulnerable.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're a fucking asshole. If you've
yeah,
seen this, if
you're
you've
a
seen this, then you're a bloody asshole, and you're the one to blame. Fucking dickhead ass, fucking irresponsible ass, dickhead,
fucking.
manslaughter ass. All right.
Alright, well, fuck yous. We're leaving.